Dawn breaks over Kiga, capital of West Guinea, where Colonel Bello Musa has hunted a ghost for 72 sleepless hours. The traitor who betrayed 15 soldiers to their deaths. Captain Adekunle sits in this frozen room, caught between two deaths: execution for treason if he confesses, assassination by the Scorpion cartel if he talks. The evidence is damning: $20,000 in offshore deposits, surveillance photos with cartel operatives, phone records. But as Adekunle trembles under interrogation, one truth becomes clear: he's small time. He passed guard rotations and communication schedules. He didn't have access to the operational details that killed those 15 men. Someone higher up, someone still hidden, gave the Scorpion cartel everything they needed. The hunt has only begun. Colonel Bello circles the captain like a leopard sizing up wounded prey. He knows fear is a tool, silence is a weapon. When he finally speaks, his voice is low and dangerous, the calm before violence.
Adekunle, you stand accused of treason.
He lays out the evidence with surgical precision: bank transfers, photographs, phone records, each piece another nail in the coffin. Adekunle breaks quickly, sobbing his confession. Yes, he took money. Yes, he passed information. But the raid details, he swears he knew nothing. He didn't have that access. The relief in his voice is genuine, grateful he's not responsible for 15 deaths, even as his other crimes will destroy him. Bello sees the truth. This captain is expendable bait. The real traitor, the one with presidential-level access, remains hidden, protected, dangerous. President Adeyemi built his career on integrity. Street vendor's son who became a lawyer, then leader of a nation. He rose from Kiga's poorest neighborhoods to this palace on merit and principle. Now the Scorpion cartel mocks those principles by corrupting his government from within. Colonel Bello delivers his report. Captain caught, but not the main leak. Someone closer, someone trusted, gave the cartel operational intelligence. Bello suspects Minister Johnson, Major Kemi, or General Adebayo, all with complete access, all people the president has trusted with his life. When Adeyemi turns from the window, his face carries impossible weight. 15 families grieve because he couldn't protect his own government, but the betrayal won't change his resolve. He will find the traitors. He will root out the corruption. He will not back down. Major Kemi was once her family's pride. Scholarship to military academy, rapid intelligence officer rise, exemplary service. Her parents died believing their daughter would become a general. They never knew about Tunda's gambling debts, about loan sharks connected to the cartel, about threats that forced their daughter to betray everything they taught her to value. Every night the same brutal self-interrogation. How did I become this? Can I save Tunde by cooperating? Should I confess to President Adeyemi and pray for mercy? But then she thinks of Tunde held hostage, starved and terrified in some cartel compound. The cartel's video calls keep him barely alive in her mind, keep her cooperation flowing. The secure phone rings. Serpent's cold voice reminds her what's at stake. She answers, because even if confession might be strategic, the gamble with her brother's life is one she cannot make. Not yet. Not while he's still alive. Carlos Mendoza, Serpent, built his empire through patience and strategy. While other cartels fight governments with violence, Serpent wages war in shadows. Why kill a minister when you can own a minister? Why bomb a military base when you can have officers on payroll? Why fight the government when you can become the government from within? The wall represents 3 years of infiltration. Each red circle cost months of cultivation, money, blackmail, threats. Captain Adekunle was always expendable, meant to be caught so the government feels victorious while remaining blind to deeper compromise. The real assets, Kemi, Johnson, others, remain hidden, isolated, protected. Serpent explains to his lieutenants, President Adeyemi doesn't realize he's leading a government already 30% owned by the organization he's declared war against. By the time he figures it out, Serpent plans to control 70% of key positions. Then the president becomes irrelevant. 15 years of friendship between these men. They rose together through West Guinea's political ranks, supported each other through crises. Adeyemi attended Johnson's children's baptisms. Johnson wrote Adeyemi's presidential campaign speeches. This relationship makes current suspicion particularly painful. The president's visit has no official agenda, but the purpose is clear. Without directly accusing Johnson, Adeyemi creates an opening. If you're the traitor or know who is, confess now. I'll protect you, understand you, give you a chance to mitigate consequences through cooperation. Johnson wants to confess. God, how he wants to unburden himself. But then he thinks of daughter Joy at university, walking alone as cartel photographs showed. Son Emmanuel vulnerable at football practice. Wife Folake, who would shatter if she learned the truth. So he lies to his friend's face, swears on his children's lives he knows nothing. This facility monitors West Guinea's most sensitive communications. Major Kimmy, senior intelligence officer, has access to everything, which is exactly why the Scorpion cartel recruited her. Colonel Bello has ordered comprehensive audit of all communications before the disastrous raid. Kimmy is leading the investigation, perfect position to sabotage it. As data scrolls, Kimmy watches for her own digital footprints, calls from her personal phone to cartel contacts, times she accessed systems from unsecured locations, subtle anomalies a skilled analyst would notice. Each piece of incriminating evidence must be found and erased before Colonel Bello spots it. Her technical expertise makes her uniquely dangerous. She's removing calls from logs, adjusting timestamps, creating plausible explanations. The system shows no sign of modification. She's good enough to cover even the cover-up, but with each deletion, she becomes more complicit in deaths she helped cause. President Adeyemi addresses assembled officials not just as their president, but as someone personally wounded. 15 men died because someone here, maybe sitting at this table, sold them out. 5 more died in the funeral bombing. This isn't abstract politics. This is blood on someone's hands. He lays out new strategy with cold clarity. Operational security will be absolute. Future operations compartmentalized. Only those who absolutely must know will know. Everyone present, including himself, will be under scrutiny. Phone records, financial accounts, personal communications, everything reviewed. Privacy and trust are luxuries the government can no longer afford. Then his declaration that chills the room. To whoever is betraying us, I'm coming for you. And when I find you, there will be no mercy. Not spoken in anger, but with cold finality of an oath. Not threatening investigation or trial, promising destruction. Total, complete, uncompromising destruction. 3 days without proper sleep. Functioning on caffeine, determination, and rage. Bello knows exhaustion degrades judgment, but he cannot stop. Every hour he sleeps is another hour the traitor walks free. Might compromise future operations, might help kill more soldiers. Then at 5:47 a.m., realization hits him like physical blow. He's been assuming one traitor, one leak, one compromise point. But evidence has never fit that pattern. Captain Adekunle had low-level access. Someone else had operational details. But certain leaks suggest even higher clearance. Presidential briefing level information only a handful could know. What if there are multiple traitors, operating independently, each feeding different intelligence levels? This explains the pattern inconsistencies. This explains why catching Adekunle didn't stop leaks. The Scorpion cartel hasn't compromised one person. They've built a network. The infiltration is deeper, more systematic, more professional than anyone imagined. Minister Johnson faces the most fundamental decision: save himself or his family. Those options have become mutually exclusive. Confessing to President Adeyemi might save his soul, minimize punishment through cooperation, but risks triggering cartel to kill his family. Continuing cooperation might protect family short-term, but guarantees eventual exposure and complete destruction. There's a third option that won't leave his mind despite its horror: suicide. If he dies before exposure, his family keeps honor. avoids treason association, maintains their futures. Cartel loses asset but has no reason to target them. Government investigation continues, but never learns his role. But cartel's message demands intelligence he doesn't have. Colonel Bello locked down operational security. Johnson no longer has access to what they want, which means he's becoming useless to them, which means his family's safety, predicated on usefulness, is running out. 3 traitors, 3 different motivations. Kemi betrays out of love for captured brother, believing she can save him. Johnson betrays out of fear for family safety, believing he can protect them. And the third traitor, still unknown to President Adeyemi, still unsuspected by Colonel Bello, betrays for reasons more complex and disturbing than love or fear. This third asset is Serpent's crown jewel, recruited not through blackmail, but through ideology and calculated self-interest. While Kemi and Johnson are reluctant traitors forced into betrayal, this person chose it willingly, sees the cartel as more reliable power structure than government, believes working with cartels is pragmatic rather than treasonous. The 3 don't know about each other. Cartel keeps them isolated for security. Each believes they're alone, carrying singular guilt. None realize they're part of larger system, that their betrayals combine synergistically to cripple government response. Tonight, all 3 receive the same message from handlers. More intelligence required, pressure increasing, failure unacceptable. A new day rises over Kiga. The city awakens to normal life. People going to work, children to school, markets opening. But beneath this normalcy, forces converge toward inevitable confrontation. President Adeyemi will continue his war while hunting traitors. Colonel Bello will follow his realization about multiple infiltrators, narrowing search, moving closer to exposure. Major Kemi will struggle to maintain cover while protecting her brother, guilt growing daily. Minister Johnson will face escalating demands while contemplating desperate escapes. The third traitor will continue calculated betrayal, believing themselves safely hidden. Captain Adekunle's arrest, the first fall, has triggered changes. Tighter security, deeper investigations, growing paranoia. Soon, one of the higher value assets will make a mistake. Leave a digital footprint Kemi can't erase. Pass information that's traceable. Crack under pressure and confess. The first fall has happened. The next falls are coming. The infiltration has succeeded beyond expectations, but success breeds conditions for its own unraveling. The opening moves have been played. Now comes the middle game, where pieces sacrifice other pieces, where apparent victories conceal deeper losses, where trust becomes the rarest and most valuable currency. Who will fall next?